Oh no, that's fine.
And we're live.
Hey guys, I'm back. It's been a week and a half.
Well, that we've been,
we did one like halfway through a week, and then you did two. So back when we're testing a new microphone. It's called the Blue Snowball. So we're gonna see how this does compared to the other microphones, and hopefully it's an improvement and it's part of the changes that we'll make to get it to where we want it to be.
You mean the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So little by little, because we're still new to this and we don't have any sponsorships, so if anybody wants to donate, let me know. So this is the best we can do for now. We're still working on the studio. I think by the end of the month it should be complete, and hopefully it's ready to go by the end of the month.
Have something to look
at. Yeah. I don't know about these white walls, man. They kind of drive me crazy sometimes. I feel like I need to put some artwork up.
White wall? I like white walls because I just stare at. I don't stare at walls, but like I like. It's like when you were a kid and you'd go outside and you would sit on the grass with your friends and look at the clouds and be like, "What do you see?" And it's like one person finds like a donkey and someone else is like, "Look at the duck over there." And do you ever do that?
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
It's like I do that with the popcorn ceiling. I just stare at it until I see something. Oh, like I do that in the toilet too, dude. I always look around, like all the marks that are like chipped out of like the stucco falling out. Like sometimes it looks like a Mother Mary or something.
Mother Mary,
like you heard that stuff where like people put toast in and it comes out as like Mary and it sells for like $300.
I didn't see the toast, but I remember when I was a kid, there was a thing in the glass that's inside of the microwaves. Did you remember that? It was something that happened within the lines of the years, rather, of maybe 2005, 2006. And apparently in the glass, there was an apparition of Mary, of Mother Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it just caused like a huge thing, that happened on the internet because when did the internet go live? It was like
a long time ago, dude.
What, like the 80s?
I think it was way before that.
But the way we have it now, where we were able to share, like YouTube was 2001, right? 2000.
I don't know any dates for that stuff.
No,
I just remember using it. Excuse me.
You're a little tired?
Yeah, just a lot of stress.
A lot of stress.
Dude, I would go to sleep at like 8:30 every night. Just because of like the stress I'm getting from things that just, when you get to a point where you just kind of like you're not thinking about it anymore or not researching it anymore, you just want to go to sleep. Like this morning when I woke up, I got up at probably 5:30 and I started doing my coding. I did it from 5:30 to 10, and I go sit in the living room with my dad, and he goes, "So what's your plans today?" I was like, I mean, I've been up since 5:30 this morning. It's 10 o'clock now. I've done quite a bit already. And I was so ready for a nap, and I was just sitting on the chair, just I took
falling asleep.
A 20-minute nap, and then I got up and did some more research on a different subject. And I don't know. It's just every time I have a moment that I don't think about doing the coding or researching, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, this week has been tough. You were telling me a little bit about what's been going on, and it sounds pretty tough, man. But there's nothing to it but to do it. We gotta get through it,
Yeah.
Today I went to class for the property management.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking an 11-week course to sharpen my skills. Sharpen my skills and get more knowledge and get ways of thinking out of the box. because what I was taught and what I've learned so far, because I've been doing this by myself from scratch from the beginning. It's I've just been learning so much more. It's intrigued my interest again in just doing something new. But yesterday I spent like 2 hours studying the chapter that we were going to go over today, and I spent 2 hours, and the whole time I was just falling asleep on the book. For some reason, either it was too late in the day where I didn't have any more energy, or I just for some reason I can't focus. But I made myself just do it, and now that's something that I've been doing lately. Is just been reading until I get tired. If I yawn, it's okay. I just keep going, and I'm trying to build this muscle of focus. Where I'm just trying to focus on tasks longer, because I've been having a lot of trouble with that. And I mean, I don't know. I may even need medication, but I'm trying to do everything I can to not go that route. You know, I feel like I may have like some sort of attention disorder, but
see, like I've heard that before about the like people taking medication because they want to focus more, but if you take medication to do that, it can also cause other issues.
Yeah.
So it's like it may make you focus on something, but now you may have another bigger issue ahead of you. So,
well, that's one of the
stuff seems like.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't want to go that route, and I'm doing everything I can. Just it's something that I've been wanting to do that I keep pushing back for some reason is meditating. I've been trying to do an hour a day, and I get to 10 minutes, and I already catch myself going to sleep. Like sometimes I'll wake up and it's been 20 minutes. I'm like, whoa, I couldn't even do 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's again, I think it's like a muscle. You just gotta work it out. So it's actually been like an off month for me. I kind of stopped going to the gym. I thought I was gonna be back in the gym on the 1st of September, but I've yet to go. But whatever. I failed this half a month. I'm gonna try not to fail the rest of the month and do the best I can for what I got. For the rest of the month, at least,
Mm-hmm.
and then go from there. Because once the holidays come, we don't really think about things. Everything's like almost automatic. Like Halloween's going on, so you already have plans. You're not even thinking about it. You already know you're going to be doing something. And then Thanksgiving comes around, same thing. Everybody usually has food and then Black Friday shopping. Although I'm not saying I'm going to go Black Friday shopping. I think this is going to be one of the years that I find to not do that.
Dude, the one year that I did do it, I just walked in and I didn't really need anything. And like, it was one of those times where it's like new stuff was coming on the horizon. And I was just like, those things were more important. Like I was going to buy a new TV last year. And I was just like, but 4K is coming. Like, do I want to buy something right now that's better than the one I had, or get a good? I don't know why that happened.
Did you
My phone's it's silent. It's weird. But
is that Google listening to you?
No.
Oh.
But I went out and I was just looking at stuff. I was like, I don't need it. I don't need this. Like, I think I bought like 3 things, and it all ended up being clothing. And like I think one of them was just like underwear.
Yeah.
Because it was like $1 for something that's normally like $14.
Yeah.
And it's like why not get that? Like those things you gotta have anyways. And I'm thinking about that now, about wanting to get the new TV and all that. I never really thought about how we use the TVs for entertainment, right? I mean, you used to use other people for entertainment before all the electrical stuff. So we understand now that other people aren't entertainment anymore. and we realized that the TV is entertainment. So we now
Well-
don't look at others.
Well, hang on. People are, in a sense, entertainers, but more they're content creators.
Yes, but not everyone.
Not more everyone
So
that's
we
on TV.
understand, but we understand walking down the street, none of these people are going to entertain us. Like, that's how we feel now. Like, before, you could walk down the street, talk to every single person on your way through, and you would be entertained, and that was, you're like, cool.
That's
But
part
now
of it
it's,
there.
don't look at each other, don't talk, like, move away from each other,
Yeah,
sit as far as possible from each other. There's no entertainment.
It became like a specialization.
Mhm.
Like, it's specialized to. I mean, that's what it is. It's a TV that entertains you, whether you're at home, you're at the gym, or at your office in the break room. Like, I think everybody has a TV now, everywhere, in their office, in their home, even now on your phone. Like, your phone is a TV. It's just a small little screen.
Yeah.
But when people watch movies, it's just a faster way to get entertainment to you. But you're right. I think that back in the day, there used to be maybe street performers where you don't really see that now anymore, unless you're in a place like Venice with a lot of tourists, where they get some money there. Other than that, when do you see a guy playing guitar in downtown? Like, maybe we saw that one time from like the many times that we've been there. So yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but how does that make you feel now? Like, now that you don't really rely on other people, you rely on the services and the memberships that you signed up for.
I mean, I don't necessarily feel like, oh no about it, but it's just you're aware of that's how it is. So it's like they're aware that now we don't go out and talk to people.
But are they?
Like, older people? Yeah, older people can talk to whoever they want.
Yeah, older people understand because
and they don't understand this.
Yeah, because it's way too new. They were too busy, like,
yeah, and
working.
That cycle continues to happen.
Yeah, they were too busy working.
And that's why no one ever gets along. Because no one understands the way of the other.
Yeah, but I think having these conversations between friends and people, I think it may inspire other people to talk. Everyone says that having conversations and talking between friends and family and whatever in the community is dying. I feel like it's dying.
Yeah.
Like, do you talk to your neighbors at all?
No.
You don't?
I mean, the neighbor in front of me, sometimes she comes over and it's super awkward because, like, she talks to me like she knows who I am, but we've talked like 3 times.
Yeah, but she's seen you. She's probably seen you. Has she been there all your life?
I'll head nod to her, but my other neighbors, like, they don't even look. Like, one of my neighbors, dude, it's the weirdest thing I ever do. She's like a tennis mom, and she'll, like, those tennis skirt short things. She's just straight, like, bend over, like picking weeds, and I'm just like she's not like good looking, but it's just like, God damn it. Like, I for sure know that they saw me.
Dude, talk about Thirsty Thursday up in here, dude. Oh man.
And then the zombie in front of us that one night.
Oh yeah, this random night. I think I was dropping you off from, I don't know where we were coming from, but in the middle of the street, your neighbor from the front, we could say in front of you. This wasn't an old dude.
There was an older gentleman, and his back was hunched, and he was old.
Like
he would walk super slow. Yeah.
In this area, there's no lamps, no lights,
no street lights,
nothing. And all you see is this guy walking the middle of the street, like,
no, he was
slow, dude.
He was on his property, but he was like hidden by like the tree was like hanging, and he was like on the inner part, and he just was hunched over, and he was running, and it was weird because he could barely walk. Like, I had to help him in his house, like 1 or 2 times, and it was just, I saw him running, and that made no sense.
Did he have Alzheimer's?
No, I don't know. He probably had left the water on or something and went out to change it, and then it was nighttime and he heard coyotes and he ran off or something. Cause
I'm just asking. Well, you had to help him get in his house twice.
yeah, not just because he couldn't. There were steps, so he couldn't. He didn't have enough power to balance and step up.
Yeah,
So.
dude. Those diseases, huh? Has anybody figured out how to defeat them? No. I heard Neuralink may help. Neuralink with Elon Musk. That may help with the brain implant. I think we talked about it one time before the podcast, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if it's something that gets put in. It helps map stuff out. You get cured in some sense, and it's taken out. But like, if it's something that like you put in and it can control how your body works, I don't know, man. If it was that or death, maybe. But like, if it was just like this could improve your life a little bit, I don't know.
What if it's that and the next version of the internet? Are we gonna be those 50-year-olds now that they didn't grow up with it? Well, they grew up with the internet, but they were already too grown, where they were probably going to work, busy with school. They didn't have time to be on the internet like the kids.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people like that, huh? That or chose not to be on the internet.
Yeah, they didn't need to learn it for any reason.
Their trade, maybe they were a mechanic.
That's the same thing. Like, all of our parents know how to write in cursive and write in cursive normally. I mean, we learned it, but we didn't have to use it that much. So there was no reason for us to ever have learned it. Where now our parents are like, you don't know how to do cursive? It's like, no, I didn't need it for any reason. Same stuff. So as things develop, like...
Yeah, why didn't they teach us cursive?
Learn that stuff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because you used to write letters. Everything that you would do now, like, you print up papers. Instead of printing up, you would write your letters in cursive.
But why in cursive? Because it's otherwise...
fancy, it's artistic.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the main way of writing was normal, like, lettering. So they just added in this shenanigan. I think what it was, too, is that you can write faster. So it was almost kind of like, would you rather want to type without autocorrect or with autocorrect? I think it was kind of the same concept. So you could write quicker by
and even if you mess up, just as long as you get most of the letters, I think they work. Because, dude, doctors? What about doctors? Like, those people?
That's just a thing. And half of theirs, they understand that they sign over and over, that they just do the
But not their signature. It was like,
I've seen some that are just a loop. And it's like, anyone can do a loop.
And it's like Adderall.
Like...
Yeah, they're just like giving Adderall away like nothing, like candy.
I don't know. I mean, there are people who are like doctors and reading handwriting, and they can tell if it's actually yours just in the way that like the swoosh is done. I don't know, that's shenanigans. But like some of that just seems like bro science. But like,
I mean, I think we're talking about it, and that sounds like bro science.
Yeah, everything is bro science. Man.
So don't
like
yeah.
I don't know. I heard some crazy, like, theories on things, and I always think about them. It's just like, man.
Like what?
Like
give the listeners one.
Let's see. I literally.
While Greg thinks about one, we're gonna talk about the Area 51 raid. And I think now we are 8 days away from it.
It's 8 days.
Is it 9/12? Or is
it's in September. I don't remember when though.
Today's the 12th, no?
12th, yeah.
Yeah. So it's on the 20th of September in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am still considering going to do a podcast out there. I don't know if Greg will accompany me.
I'm almost sure I cannot.
So he's almost sure. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do a live one and just watch a live feed and do a commentary on it.
If they have that, I mean, someone will probably have that going.
Oh, of course. Everyone's gonna be streaming that, man. Everybody's
probably gonna turn it into a music festival.
Raid Area 51
just like,
music festival.
I
think that they were already trying to sign something
those
like
big
that.
raves or whatever, like
EDC?
it'd be like Stagecoach.
Like EDC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna become Area 51.
Hey, if I was that kid, I'd totally do
Or
that.
what is it called? What's that one in the desert?
Burning Man?
Burning Man. That one, dude, man, the things that I have seen of that, it's just weird, dude.
So, okay, that's one. That's one of the theory, or it's not. Were you talking about conspiracy theories or theories?
I mean, conspiracy theories. Like,
Okay, so that's one.
saying that, like, we are aliens from a different planet, and the asteroids that killed the dinosaurs were really our spaceships, but it was kind of like the Superman concept where they sent the women and babies first. So, like, it could have just been a bunch of babies that came here and we killed all the dinosaurs because of all the spaceships that came down and destroyed
But you
the
think
world.
we killed the dinosaurs, or the spaceship that landed wiped them out for our arrival?
No, we were in the spaceship. Would it killed them? That kind of shenanigans.
But
so, like, the history that we know is correct-ish.
But what about Pangea and like the map before the countries broke off?
Yeah, see, like, that's like,
Because
how do you know any of that's like real? Like,
look at the shape of the. I mean, I can't prove it because I don't have a bird's eye view, but I'm sure we can pull it up from the space station and see that America or the United States is in fact shaped like the United States.
so would you say that the water moves the land?
No, it's the Earth.
So
It's-
so we were connected. There's some kind of
plates.
earthquake or something, so we crack, and then the water comes in, and then splits us, and then they just became floating islands until some point
It's not floating islands.
they like landed down.
It's not floating islands. It's
So then,
just,
how would we have split so far?
okay, because there's plates, right? They're on plates. Below the plates is molten lava, and then the rock forms on top of it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So when they first broke, and then actually this is how islands are formed. When there's fissures and they make contact, they can't go downward, so they go up, and so islands pop up from the water.
Okay.
And so I'm not saying that we floated away. I'm saying that from the impact or whatever it was back then, it created this almost butterfly effect where earthquakes were just like bringing. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to explain
it's
it.
like,
But
I don't know. I mean, everything changes. It's like a plot of land that had a McDonald's on it. Now the McDonald's gets knocked down and a business building gets put up. So, like, the world completely changed because now there's a high rise where this McDonald's
the world
was.
didn't
And
change.
so, I mean, the world
No.
is going to do the same concept.
No.
Where it's going to wipe something out to replace it with something new over time.
Yes, that is right.
So, like, that's fine, but
what about the actual land that it was built on? That doesn't change.
Yeah, there was also the saying about when the ice caps during the Ice Age happened, that there was a bridge from, I think it was China to like Canada that they could walk across. And so the first actual people in the United States were more like Chinese people, Mongolian-ish people. And it wasn't what we know as Indians.
Okay, dude.
Like,
but we're talking about the earth, like
just saying,
about the soil, like the plot of land that you mentioned about like the McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
We're making a change, but the earth is not changing. Like we can't change the earth.
But like I just said, with how there was ice cap and that was all land essentially. Like there's people who live in the Arctic.
Yeah,
like scientists live in the Arctic doing studies. They're living on this ice. If the ice had melted, they would no longer live there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same concept. Like
the
earth moves. Like if you go out there with a shovel and you start digging the dirt moves. So like
I'm not
the
sure
aspect of the world changes.
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Everything and the aspect of the world will always change. Like if we keep remodeling this place here, eventually it would either go higher because we would be adding more like foundations, more there'd be more dirt under, whatever the circumstance is. So this house, the next house could be an inch higher than this house is now, and
What
over
if
time,
what if we remove the Earth?
well, then
the
we would
soil?
go lower. So the world changes. So whatever was there before is now somewhere else. So now you're going to be having a mountain here at one point, and then this mountain will be gone, and maybe two hills are formed because this mountain's gone. Like, that's just how the world moves. The world
I
moves
don't think
indirectly.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I think that
It's just like water, and water can come down as rain. It could be a puddle right here. And then you get the evaporation. And that evaporation is kind of technically that water. And then it rains all the way in San Diego.
Yeah,
and it's
but
that
that's
same
water.
It's the same process, but now it's over there.
But that's
so like
water.
But there's the same thing. If I put it in a truck and drive it down to San Diego, it's the same concept.
So you're doing that.
Yeah.
Not the soil.
I mean, if wind was here, wind would be knocking that stuff away. Anyways.
But it's not.
That's how dandelions form. The wind blows, knocks off all the things, and now
yes. But we're talking about like the physicality, the physical Earth does not change. Like we change the appearance of it by carving through mountains, making tunnels. But the Earth
that happens
does
over
not
time.
change.
That happens over time. Mm-hmm. You know how rocks are formed, right?
How are they formed?
Rocks are formed from dirt being pressurized over time. Like at the beach, if you go and you watch high tide and low tide, the beach changes every day and every night. The sand gets moved around and so on and so forth. Wind blows things off to different areas.
Yeah, but we're talking about
tornadoes.
We're talking about like
maybe nothing huge, but that's what I'm saying over time.
Well, it's from a domino effect. That's my point. Like whatever caused it to break from the beginning, and I think, and don't quote me on this because I'm not a scientist and I'm not a historian. I probably didn't do my homework in high school.
Talking bro science.
So don't. This is bro science. Whatever happened at the beginning, where the countries were separated, it's been like a domino effect over time, and they've been moving apart ever since, creating the countries that we know now.
Sure, but I don't think it ever happened in a lifetime.
Over 100 years?
I don't think...
No, it's happened over
a long period of time.
Of years.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at with the whole concept of like the wind pushing things. So the ocean changing the landscape of the coasts, or let's say ice caps melt.
But we were talking about,
say maybe more ice is put onto the ice caps.
We're going too far. We're talking about but we're talking about a spaceship. Your conspiracy theory that a spaceship who brought us.
I'm just saying that's a conspiracy. I'm not saying I believe
this. Okay. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, like, you can take things in history and just conspiracy theory it up the butt. So, like, there was one, it was so good, I just can't remember it anymore.
So not that good?
No, it was really funny, and it made a lot of sense, but it was just like, it's not a thing. No one believes. I just can't remember what it is. I'll remember it later tonight.
Guys, ask some questions up in here, dude. Drop a comment. I don't know where Greg's
going. You don't know of any conspiracy theories that, like, you don't believe, but, like, they sound so, like, it could possibly have been a thing.
Okay.
But, like,
I did not believe in China making chimeras.
Okay.
I didn't believe in that. I thought, I'm like, human-animal hybrids, I don't believe in that.
Yes. But see, there's a difference. When someone tells you that they're making chimeras, and you're sitting there thinking, do you know what have you seen a mythical creature, the chimera?
Well, I don't base my thought of it on a mythical creature, because if someone says a dragon and they were referring to a Komodo dragon, there's a big difference.
But see, that's the thing, though. A lot of people speak that way purposely to misguide your thought about it.
Well,
When they say, "Oh, they're making chimeras half human, half pig," come on, it was a pig that's born with human-like organs.
so half pig, half
No.
human.
No. This is a pig with human-like organs.
Well, we're not saying what percentage. I'm not even saying in what way, but it's got half pig and half human, right?
No.
It doesn't. So there's no human in there.
No.
So it's just a pig.
Pretty much. Like, you couldn't see the difference between the pig and another pig.
I'm not talking about the appearance of it. I'm talking about
The anatomy,
term. Yeah.
The difference.
Is
It
there
would be
half
different than a
human?
pig.
Is it
But-
half human and half pig?
No.
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 So it's just a pig with human organs.
It would be like saying that a human with no legs is not a human.
What?
Like,
Oh my
there's
dude.
something different.
You're-
It's like, it's pretty much a pig. It just has human-like features.
Human-like
Just
features.
like there are humans who have like gorilla-like features. Like, they're just hairy from their head to their toe. Like, have you seen the hairy men? Where it's just like
They're
there's
not-
hair everywhere.
Yeah, but that's not like a gorilla.
But I think it was the. I have to look it up. But I'm
I don't
pretty
know
sure
what-
they
no.
call them gorilla men.
They
Or
call
is
them
it
because they
chimp
don't
man?
have a better name for them, but it doesn't mean that they're a chimp.
I don't know. I don't.
What I'm saying is it just a pig or not?
Yeah.
It's just a pig.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing humans in there.
No. I mean, I guess you could technically what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the pig to grow like a heart that a human could then put in to their body to live.
How
like a
are they
heart
doing
transplant. So it would have to have human-like features.
But how are they doing that?
I don't know how.
Are they mixing the genes?
I would assume so.
So by definition, that would be half pig, half human genome.
No. Because
Are you saying no because you're 1,000% sure?
No, because
or are you saying no
I
because
would
you don't
assume
believe
that
it?
you would say 50-50 if they had the same. They'd have 50% of a pig's form and a 50. Not like I'm not saying like a head of a pig and a body of a human, but I'm saying there's enough in it to say that it's 50% pig and 50%.
What about chimps? That they're like 99% the same as humans, but 1%
Yeah,
is not.
So they're similar to humans. They have likeness, but they're not humans.
Okay.
So
that's
then
what
you
I'm
would have to
saying.
consider a monkey just as human as that chimera.
Nah.
Why? Because they have 99% similarity.
But is it 90? But you're saying it's not. That's what I'm trying
That's
to
what I'm
get
saying.
to.
It's not the same thing.
But okay.
It's
The
like a
question
deformed
is-
pig. It's
yeah.
like
I'm
the
not
people who get
saying-
burns
I get
and they
it.
take pig skin and they replace the skin with pig skin. Are they now a chimera? Are those people now chimera
Half
because they're
human,
a pig?
half pig.
I don't think so.
Dude, you sound like you never watched Man Bear Pig.
Come on, that's a cartoon, buddy. No,
Where
there's
do you
people
think
who
they
take
got
the
it?
skin from animals to do the what is it called, skin grafts. So are they now chimeras because they have part
Yeah,
of whatever that
That's the
animal is?
definition of a chimera. It's half human, half animal.
I don't know. Every time I look up chimera, I get the mythical creature. So
You gotta go to China, dude. And be like, purchase chimera for insurance. Just purchase one to get like insured. If your heart goes, you get a pig heart.
because that would almost kind of be similar to that one movie. Did you see? I think it's called The Island.
Yeah, I watched that
Where
movie.
it was like I could go pay them, they would clone me, and then my clone would be in this
Fake.
place,
Nice.
living however they live,
Yeah.
where it was just like wake up, sleep, eat, do some kind of work, and just they would only be given the greatest food to eat, and their bodies would be perfect. So when it comes down to the time where I'm gonna die, they replace all my organs with those people's organs, and I'm good to go again.
That was a clone.
That's almost
made
kind of
out
what
of
they're trying.
another baby.
But that's almost what they're trying to do with this chimera concept.
Maybe it's the only way to do it.
We can kill pigs because we're already fine killing
So it could be
pigs rather
humane.
than cloning people and killing off the clone.
Right. So it could be like humane.
But like that's crazy at the same time to think about it. Why is it humane to do it that way?
Because it's
they're
not
50% human though.
Are they? You
I
said
don't know.
no.
I know. That's
what
why
I'm
it's
saying.
weird.
But that's what I'm asking. You see. Then next thing
because
you know,
we find it okay to kill the pig now to eat the pig. But
I mean, we do.
Does that mean that the pig is no longer edible?
Maybe they're killing two birds with one stone. Maybe maybe they're creating pigs for us to eat.
Have you heard I don't know if it's real or not.
Maybe they just gut it.
Yeah, I don't know. But like how if you have a child with someone you're related with, there's higher chances of having like mental issues, like having kids with Down syndrome and things like that. I'm curious as if like eating humans would do the same kind of concept. Create what is it called? Creating an issue with your life. No, I guess it wouldn't, because it would be two family members' DNAs that don't mix. Because I'm thinking if you eat other people, you're eating their DNA, which would be.
Yeah,
I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where. Oh my god.
There's got to be repercussions to eating your own kind. Like they feed pigs pig.
Yeah, but because pigs can eat literally everything. Pigs are the only animal that you can give it trash and you can get baking out of it.
But now that's a new question now with this chimera, is if he has human-like organs, he can no longer eat like a pig.
I don't know if it's everything. Maybe they're not feeding them. Maybe they're just giving them like I mean, we're just talking out of our ass because we have absolutely no right to be talking about this.
What do you mean? It's something to think about. Like,
I mean, it's interesting. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to be putting out more misinformation out there than there's already, you know.
We're talking about theories and conspiracy theories. It's not, none of that stuff is true. Well, I mean,
but it is. It is.
What?
That's what I was. You asked me. The first question you asked was, "Is there a conspiracy theory that is so crazy you didn't believe it at first, and then it actually turned to be real?" And I said yes.
Oh, I didn't say that.
The perfect example for me would be the chimeras.
Well, I mean something where it's like how I said, the asteroids came down. Like whenever you think about the dinosaurs got wiped out by these asteroids that hit Earth.
So, or allegedly, we don't know.
Yes. So now you take that and you go one step further. We would have been killed by these dinosaurs. The dinosaurs would have wrecked us. So, how are we still here and the dinosaurs are? Like these asteroids didn't get us, or we were inside the asteroids. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like theories like that.
Or we weren't evolved yet.
That are just so.
We weren't evolved yet. I think they found Neanderthals, or some sort of like common ancestor back when. The thing is that we haven't found a fossil that dates back to the dinosaur age.
Imagine if the dinosaurs were really robots, and we're just in these freaking machines that are just destroying.
Like biological machines?
Yeah, we're just like in them, just like controlling. We're just like carnage. And then you got those vegans out there as like one of the plant-based dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs?
Yeah, you got T-Rexes being like Stalin and like and then you have like your little raptors being like just trolls. Just like troll people, just like you can't get me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like that, I need to go back and watch that Avatar movie. Like, I don't understand why it got so big.
The like, 3D?
I remember watching.
Because it was
the top selling movie.
There was nothing like it.
but it wasn't.
Yeah,
Like, I don't understand. It wasn't that good. Like, I didn't talk about it that much. I don't remember many people talking about it. Like,
It was
people
just
went to
the
see
first
it, but
3D movie, and so it
was. Oh, is that what it was? Was
yeah.
it the first ever 3D movie
that yes.
in the theater? It was the first 3D.
Like that.
Maybe that explains it then.
Yeah.
Because it was more of a phenomenon that there was a 3D movie than it was that people wanted to see the movie.
Yeah, I mean, the story is pretty cool. Like, you're a Marine in the future who is able to download his consciousness into an alien species, and then he's able to walk again because he's a what do you call him? Paraplegic?
Oh, yeah.
You know? And, I mean, that's the whole story. I mean, I thought it was a good storyline.
I saw it in 3D, and I was like, I wouldn't watch it in 3D again if I saw the movie, because it was just, maybe it was the first one, and that's why I was just like, because like when I watch 3D movies with those glasses, the longer I watch, the more cross-eyed I have to go to keep everything in focus, because it's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I think my eyes like start to like split focus because the glasses they're different. Like, I don't know what the lenses are called, but they're two different types of lenses. So I think my eyes at some point just start focusing differently, and I have to cross my eyes to refocus it. It's the weirdest thing, and it's happened in every 3D movie I go to, and I kind of don't even want to go to 3D movies anymore.
Well, that sucks.
Did you ever do 3D before that?
My first 3D experience was in Disneyland. When I was a kid, there was a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Disney attraction. And actually, if I remember correctly, it was actually 4D. It was like the first 4D movie that I ever experienced.
Oh, you're talking about the one where you sit in the chair?
Yeah,
the comfy chair like this, and then there's like air, and it shoots like, and there's the mice.
And then the mice kind of poke you in the back of your...
Yep.
Dude, that freaked me out.
I remember
I thought there were mice out there.
That's right.
Dude, it was crazy. That was the first time I... And then they shoot water at you.
Yeah, they missed it.
Uh-huh.
I think before that one, I had gone to Dave & Buster's, and they had a room that I think there was enough seats. I think it was 4 people in front, 4 people in back, and the seats actually moved, and it would go backwards. And I remember this clearly, dude. It was like a video game kind of scenario. You were just there, and it would move you around. Like, there was fighting of some sort, and I just remember this guy with a chain. Not, what do you call those ones? It's not a chainsaw, but it's like you usually double hold it, and there's just a circular blade. It's like a really
circular
is
saw?
It circular saw?
Yeah.
It's a huge one. This guy's just holding it, and then your seat goes back, and he just went straight at my neck. I flew the headset off of me, and I was just like this. Oh man, it was
For
so
people
scary.
who can't see, if you're listening to this, Greg was just squirming on my couch.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe the way movies are going. It's so insane how they're able to get you to focus on one thing for 3 hours. Like, I went to go watch It 2 the other day.
Uh-huh.
And I cannot believe I sat through a 3-hour movie. Like,
that was 3 hours?
Yeah, it was like 3-hour movie. Excuse me. Not that the movie wasn't worth it. I just, for some reason, I can't believe that this is the norm. Like, don't we have anything better to do? Like, I was thinking about that when I was in there on the slow parts. I was like, man, why am I here? I have other things that I need to do. Like, why am I wasting my time for this entertainment? You know? I can't even focus on a book for 10 minutes because I'm falling asleep. But the movie, the lights, the storyline, and then you get the horror in it. it's like a you know, I don't know. It's like an addiction almost.
Yeah, because there's something to keep engaged on. Where like in the book, it's not like you can read a fantasy book. Like let's say you're reading like The Lord of the Rings or something, and you're there and there's this big battle scene, but like there's no movement. It's literally just you reading words. So like you're requiring your imagination to do this picture, but like there's no actual picture there. Like there's no like it like
Yeah, but-
when you watch a movie now, like you can't like you see like what just came out. Game of Thrones, like the last episode. She's like,
Whoa, wait. No spoilers. Alert.
well, she
Bro,
does this every episode. She rides dragons. Like, obviously, she's
Bro,
going to
what
ride a
kind of
dragon.
ride?
But I'm saying, she's just on this dragon flying, and there's like a scene where she's in the sky, and there's clouds everywhere, and she's on this dragon. She's just riding it. You'll see like birds fly by. You'll like,
Wait, okay.
like none of it looks like a Sega game. Like this looks like that dragon could be a real thing. Like if we're seeing that as a normal thing now, like how did that stuff not exist a few years ago? Like the moon landing, like things like that. Like this is the conspiracy theories that I'm talking about. Like if we can see, if they can make a movie where a dragon looks real and this lady's riding a damn dragon and these flames coming out of the dragon's mouth look like they're gonna burn someone. Like, how is it that we can believe anything that happens in a video if we're not there?
Well,
like iPhone just came out. They came out with a new iPhone, and they keep doing these picture, like trying to show you how great the quality of the pictures are. And they showed it this time. They showed everything they did behind the scenes to get this photo. It's these two guys sitting in this what looks kind of like a train cart, and then you can see a forest in the background. And the picture looks great. The only thing that the issue with it is that no one's going to get pictures like that because the person who took the picture knows everything about lighting, knows everything about camera settings, and is not using just the auto like click button, which everyone's using. And it's just a misdirection of what actually is. And that's what.
Well,
like,
I think that they're making it easy enough for people to figure it out, and so they're attacking it on that front. What I see the problem is that these companies are taking their time to really give us technology, but it's all about growth. It's all about the new iPhone. People are going to buy it. And then it's like cars. Like I honestly believe that Tesla could have been a possibility maybe 50 years ago. More than that. Electric cars. I think it was always in the possible realm. It was just greed or for whatever might have been that oil was the way that the oil industry started. It was maybe they invested too much money and they just kept it going. They passed laws. I don't know.
Well, that's something I was talking to my dad about was like he said that a lot of companies they will invest in some sort of
technology.
So that's some kind of technology. And then this company's around for so long, they don't change technologies because they've invested so much in this. And
it's a lot of money.
And no one else uses it. So it's like you have to learn it for this specific job. But like there are so many better things. But this company's not going to invest in it because they've already invested so much here that you're not having to do more work, which technically puts things behind, and you're not advancing further and further.
The problem is that people are still just people. Companies are run by people, and people, one, are stubborn. People, two, it's have you tried to change yourself, to innovate yourself, to be better, to be 1,000% better?
Uh-huh.
How hard was it?
It lasted 2 years.
How hard was it to change back to your normal self?
Not hard.
Okay. The problem with companies is that the people at the forefront, the CEOs, or even the owners of them, they're not visionary. They're not like thinking about the next thing. They're thinking about the competition, but the problem is that they only go so far. Like,
let's say they don't need to at a certain point though, because I mean, when you finally create something, you're like, let's say, like Mark Zuckerberg. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's doing much like sitting down and coding anymore.
no,
Like he created Facebook. Now
he's running 3 companies.
Yeah, so he himself is not creating anything.
No, but
he has other people creating it because he has the money and he has the control.
I wouldn't say that. Because
it's like my dad. My dad created something for his previous employer. He gets credit for being the creator, but he doesn't get paid anything for creating it.
Yeah.
So like now whoever that company created it.
Yes.
When really my dad created it.
Well, in some cases.
So it's
like
that's
Steve
how
Jobs
I see it.
With Apple, he was not the creator; he was the visionary behind it.
I don't think he was even that.
Yeah,
right? I thought he was just a persona.
No, he's the one who had this vision of Apple, of everything in one phone, everything that you need in one phone, and then combining it with the aesthetics to please everything, or to please people.
But I mean, like, I don't know. I'm still not convinced that people do these things on their own. Like we've seen, like Mark Zuckerberg was not the only creator of Facebook.
But hang on.
I don't.
But you're. I think that it's because you probably don't. You don't see it.
You can come up with an idea, but you're not the one who actually creates it.
No, but that's the thing. Like everybody, like one person can't be multi-talented.
Well, yeah, but like the point, like let's say I come out with a clothing company.
Yeah.
Right. I don't create any of the clothes. So I didn't create anything. I just created a name and had someone else do all the work for me.
You putting it together is, by definition, the creator of it.
I don't know. It seems kind of.
You're thinking about it in too logically. You're thinking about it. You're compiling everything, or you're separating everything. When in reality, a company is people and technology coming together to build a company. It's not. It doesn't even have to be physical. Like a company is not a building, but they need a building to run the company.
Mm-hmm.
The company is like a virtual thing.
So like when I worked in the restaurant, okay, and we're all there all the time working. The owner comes in once a month.
Okay.
The owner works in the office, pays the electricity bill, all that, and then comes in and tells us that we don't know what the heck we're doing, and she should fire all of us.
It's a family-owned business.
Yeah, but if you were to come in and do it yourself, you don't even know what's on half the food in the restaurant.
It's a family-owned business.
But see, that's my point, though. Like you can't say that you created this. You made this what it is.
Well,
when it wasn't really you. You just happened to have the money in the place.
That's enough for me.
Like it bothered me so much when one of the owners came in and asked for a specific sandwich, and then I brought it, and they were like, "This is not how I wanted it." I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know how you wanted it, but this is how you created it, and now you don't even know what the heck you're doing."
Yeah, but that's individual to him.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but you're talking about one specific person. But
no, that's what.
But you know what I'm saying? Like Steve Jobs knew exactly what he wanted, and that's why Apple became what it is.
Yeah, but like
there are instances like Twitter where Jack Dorsey says it was a tool for my team to communicate, or like for my team and I to communicate. It then blew up. It became a thing. However, he still created Twitter. He is the creator. He put the people, he put the money, and he had a vision. and so he created Twitter. Whereas the coder is just a coder by definition. He did the physical labor because he's not smart enough to put everything else together. So Jack Dorsey would be the creator of Twitter, even though he might have only done the first line of coding. You see?
Yeah.
It's like a construction company.
It just seems a little ridiculous sometimes when one person, let's say, becomes the owner or the creator, and they make ridiculous amount of money that they can never spend in their life. And then you have people who are the ones who are actually making this product. And they're just kind of getting by, okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Like, I understand the concept. Oh, this person's taking all the risks. They can lose everything. Yada yada yada. But they're not really going to lose everything. The business would just shut down.
How do you know?
So if the business,
but how do you know?
Because everything in a business, unless you run the business utter garbagely, when you make your profits, all you're keeping money saved to pay for these like lawyer expenses and all that. So the money he's actually making is separate from the money the company has. Well, so like anything that happens to him is going to be taken from the company, not from his money.
Yeah, that's called a corporation, Greg.
Yeah, and
welcome
that's ridiculous.
To Business 101.
Because what happens is then if the company goes down, this guy's still perfectly fine, and then all these people are done for.
Let me tell you a story.
Like, it just seems a little ridiculous.
I forget who it was, but the creator of the pencil. Okay. He created he had the idea. He brought in the money. He brought in the laborers. The laborers were working for like a penny a day. But guess what? Without him, they would have 0 pennies a day. So it's up to them that they weren't smart enough to create the pencil in the beginning. It was their fault. It's not even their fault, like not in a bad way or a demeaning way, but it's not his fault that other people around him weren't able to create this pencil, which now is like a multi-billion-dollar patent. He put it together. He brought in the people. He took all the risk, everything, the stress, probably working 20 hours a day when these guys were working 14 hours a day. Is it his fault? Or like, I don't know, like if you mean that it's a bad thing, that, I mean, with a $1 billion company, you know how stressed you're going to be?
Okay.
Like, did you hear where Elon Musk told Joe Rogan that he said, you wouldn't want to be me?
Mm-hmm.
That is why he is a billionaire. That is why he is the creator of Tesla, the Boring Company.
But see, at the same time, everything he does is funded by the company. Almost everything he does is funded by
the company. Not
PayPal. It's funded by PayPal.
No, PayPal was him coding a program that allows somebody.
I know, but what I'm saying is that all this buku amount of money that these people are making, they don't use that money.
No, they reinvested in their business.
But then when something happens within those businesses, it's the business that goes down, and they still have their money.
Sometimes.
Well,
like if you're not a corporation,
unless they do something super shady. Yeah.
If you're not a corporation, you're still taking liability.
But if it's more or less the company goes down because the product's not used anymore, that person doesn't just lose all their money, unless they kept throwing their own money continuously back in. But people get to a point where they stop throwing their money back in, unless obviously they're doing
Elon
a poor decision.
Funded himself with Tesla. Yeah. He funded himself with SpaceX.
But he wouldn't continue to do it if he had the money.
But the
company may not have money.
The thing is that a business and a company is created for profit in cash. That's what it's for.
That's why, like, a lot of corporations, they want to do what gets the money, but then like you go to like I don't understand how working in a restaurant, right? You get most garbage people who are like, I'm never coming back here because the service is garbage. But then that same person would probably go the next week to McDonald's every day. What? Their bathrooms smell like someone took a dump in your face. The food is. I mean, I like the food, but like the food you can obviously say is not the best quality. But like, why is it okay for that to be such garbage, but not this restaurant?
Why? Efficiency. Because your restaurant doesn't provide a drive-through. It doesn't provide a quick lunch. You literally get to the window, you ask for whatever the hell you want, and 30 or 90 seconds after you leave the window, you've already paid and gotten your food, and you're on your way.
Mm-hmm.
A restaurant works. It's a different type of business model. You have to go in there, wait for the host to seat you. Oh, there's people in front of you. Oh, you have. It's like a whole other experience. It's an experience. In a restaurant, you're selling the experience of eating out and providing superior quality food depending on the level of your restaurant. And then McDonald's is everything's about quick efficiency. It's called fast food for a reason, you know. So it's not that it's okay; is that there's just a bigger market of people who are on the go than people who appreciate an experience in the restaurant. That's it. It's just a difference in business model.
But like the main point though is because that I'm saying within the restaurant, they said because the customer service is garbage. But even if you get all these benefits of quick in, quick out, the service is usually pretty garbage. It's like here's your food. Yeah.
Well, so like it depends. I wouldn't say that. I've had some of the best customer service I've had was in fast food joints.
Okay, how about Denny's?
Denny's? I still don't like their food.
No, you said you want to go back because the service is garbage.
To one.
You're telling me the service is better at McDonald's?
The service is relevant to the...
I mean, they're both pretty garbage because you get the same quality of work.
The service... Well, I wouldn't even say that. There's some people who are excellent in customer service who work at fast food joints. It'd be pretty ignorant to say that all of them are like that.
That's one of the issues that I had within the restaurant when I was serving was that I'd probably say 50% of the servers were always interested in making more money however we could. Like I worked with a server who we would switch tables based off of who it was. So if there were older ladies, like grandmas, I would take the table.
Damn,
because I remind them of their grandson and they'll tip me more. Where she was a good-looking younger girl who would then go to every table who had men on it because she would make more money. So we would play this game, and then you have this server who can barely handle 3 tables, and so I have to keep picking up this slack, which then makes me look like I'm doing bad, which I'm now apologizing. Sorry, I'm taking more tables than I should. Yada yada yada, making it so those people don't come back anymore. So now it's hindering me passively because this person just doesn't care.
And so it's the people who you work with.
Yeah, and a lot of times you can't control it.
No, you can't control people, period.
And it's...
But I'm saying, I've had some of the best customer service in fast food joints.
And I think that's why it would be better... I've heard both ways. I think it would be better to work with people who enjoy being around normally. Like, if you, me, and all the guys had some sort of business, we would be able to have fun in between the work or at the same time, which then would create more fun for the people who are taking whatever product we have. Like, imagine we all worked in a restaurant. Like, let's see Robert and Wu in the kitchen. So when someone walks in, you just hear Wu yelling, "Welcome!" and then freaking Gilbert is at the bar just like cracking stupid dad jokes while trying to make drinks, and you and I are just busting our ass on the floor like taking orders and like just making fun of each other. Like that's so much more of a dynamic than say, let's see, who do we know? Like someone from high school that we passively knew who just comes in and just wants to deal with his one little thing.
Yeah, I think that's the social dynamic of in which we live in. I'm not everybody. Like I think there's some people who don't like to work in teams, and that's just the type of person who they are. And there's other people who need a team to be better, but then they rely on the team being a good quality team. I mean, it's a lot of levels. There's a lot of factors, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like sometimes the people that you work with become good friends, and it's like you're not even going to work sometimes because you're having a good time.
Yeah.
So I've seen both those instances. Like when we were at the warehouse job, the one that you came in and you only worked there for like 3 months. I had a lot of friends there. I had a good time. I always liked going to work because it was just, other than the fact that I only dealt with customers after their purchases, which in most cases they weren't difficult anymore. They were just there to pick up things.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the things. Like I didn't want to deal with customers being picky because I didn't care enough. Like I didn't really care for that. Like that's not, like I didn't need to cater to customers. Like you come here, get your thing, and you go, and that's it. Like I'll help you get your stuff in the car.
Well, it's like one of the things I think, like I never understood that job. Like I understood what I needed to do, but I didn't know how to find things. Like you explained it, but you always seemed like you were in such a rush because you had so much you needed to do that you were just trying to explain it very quickly.
We were short-staffed.
No, I know, but that's the point. Like now you weren't short-staffed, but you still were because you were still super busy trying to do all this stuff and try to teach you something too quickly that like you may have been skipping over a step that you didn't think was important, but since I've never done it before, it was important.
But I also think that you were thinking about things as in a straight process. Sometimes it was just doing it and then figuring it out as you go.
No, but like it's like you have to find this chair.
Yeah.
I know what the chair looks like, but the chair's not built and it's in some box somewhere within this giant place.
Yeah.
And you're like, use this computer and it'll tell you where it is. Okay?
Yeah.
There's no search.
I didn't tell you like that.
No, I don't remember. I just remember
because I trained people.
Because like there was even like the computer where you log in and
it was called
like,
a SNCC.
Yeah. And it was just like
a SNCC, and it was I forget the acronym, but it was a I don't know. Well, what would you compare it to? It would be like an iPad.
Yeah, it's just like one of the QR scanners.
Yeah, it would have a like it would be attached to a database where it would have the location, which is like a bin in a rack, and then it tells you like the floor. So let's say it was D2L. You knew it was in the second floor, the bay 2, and it was lighting for the L or whatever the hell, you know? And then from there, you looked at the item number. You would have to look in this big square to find the item within that item number. So that's how it was.
I never once
used it. Yeah, because you were looking at it, you're like,
I looked at it and I was like, I don't know where any of these numbers are, what color, what kind of chair, and I just walked and hoped to read it on the box. And then when I was yelled at, like, wow, where is the thing? I was like, I don't know, and someone would just come and find it. One of the department people, because apparently they knew where it was. So why don't you come get it, you damn self?
Because you're doing
I was there
job.
to put the cost of the item on, where it was like scan it, print out, sticker.
Yeah, that was sometimes.
Dude, when the truck was there, I was always like, I'm on truck.
Dude, I remember that truck, man. It was imagine. I don't know if you were there when there was a time when we had the truck from the very, very front of the trailer stacked up, and it was just like 100 walls,
wasn't it?
It was just 100 walls.
Yeah, it was lighting because that one person ordered it.
It was everything, dude.
I specifically remember because it was lighting because the person ordered a ton of lights, and I think it was Jatin. He had did the order, and everyone was like, "Nah, this is not a real order. No one orders this many lights." It was paid for, but it was paid for on a weird kind of credit card, and everyone was like, "No, this is not real. We shouldn't do this." But then it went through, and it was like there was nothing to say not to do it, except for it just seemed sketchy. And then we bought them all, and then we put them all up, and then the day came that they were picking them up, and we put them all down, and then no one came to the back to pick anything up. And we had to then load all the lights back up. I remember it was me and Schwan, dude. Me and Schwan. I don't know if you were there the day that we had to put the stuff back up. But, dude, him and I didn't know how to use the snake. We were trying to figure it out. I swear, we just threw lights in places and stacked the same type of light just together. It wasn't where it's supposed to be, but it was stacked together.
Let me explain a little bit about Schwan and how he came to be. So Schwan came from a name Juan, who was a man who was no taller than 5'6".
Was he, man?
Dude, he was like 5'4", dude.
He was short.
He was really short. And he was probably late 30s at the time, early 40s. And he would walk around like he was on a mission. He would have his back brace on, his boots, his gloves, just running around everywhere. And I think this guy, man, I forget how long he was there for, but throughout the whole time, he had never said that he was gay, until the last month before he got let go. And it was fine. I mean, him and I, we were pretty cool, man. He was definitely a character. And one of my favorite characters there, man. Sometimes he would just bring in Subway for people and just, dude.
I don't remember that.
It was awesome, dude. But we just started calling him Schwan for whatever reason.
He was always nice to everyone. That stupid computer you had to clock in and clock out on. I kept failing on it, and when you fail too many times, it locks you out. And then people coming back from lunch, they get in trouble because they're clocking back in. I was in the room once, dude. I failed. There were 5 people behind me. Juan was in there. Schwan was in there. And everyone was just pissed at me. They're like, "What did you do? God damn it." He's Juan's Schwan. He's "Nah, guys, it's okay. This is his first week here. He doesn't know what he's doing." And everyone was pissed. I was relax. There's an issue with the computer. These jackasses can fix it, or they can just chill out. And everyone's no. I was what are you guys mad about? You're getting more time on your lunch. Relax.
But getting paid less. That's what they were mad about.
I guess. I wasn't used to that because I came from the restaurant. And the restaurant was just no break, no lunch, work, go home.
Yeah, but I mean...
So to me, it was the faster you just got to the end of your day, you get to go home.
But there's no fast. It's 8 hours.
There's
8 hours or 8 hours.
It's a different concept when you're at a restaurant.
Because
even if you worked an 8-hour restaurant shift, it's 8 hours straight. You don't take your if you need to go to the bathroom, you hope to have spread everything out long enough to where you can sprint to the bathroom, squeeze it out super quick, wash your hands, and you'll walk straight from the bathroom back to your tables and just do a loop and then going.
I mean, that's the nature of tables. I mean, or the restaurant business, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't like it.
I would have much rather have gone at the graded doors. I would have rather have gone to work an 8-hour shift and just worked my 8-hour shift. I hated that hour lunch, half-hour break, 15-minute break, 15-minute break. I was there an extra 2 hours more than I needed to be. For what? I didn't even want to be on my lunch. I want to go home.
Well, because of federal regulations,
Went from an 8-hour day to a 10-hour
yeah,
day.
because people were complaining back in the coal mines.
I know, and it's kind
Would
of...
you rather have been in the coal mines?
But that's
been
the
there
point,
for 8
though.
hours
Those rules
working?
don't really need to apply as much anymore.
The problem is that physical labor.
It should
Physical
be
labor.
optioned, where
It should be optioned?
it's the employee's option to work through or not.
I don't think so, because the employer can just deny. Say, you know what?
Because
I wanted to do this, but I didn't want to do it now.
That's
So
the thing in
now I'm gonna
restaurants,
sue
because
you.
based off of the way it works. So, like, if I go on a lunch, that means you take care of my tables, which means if you screw up, I don't make money.
It's also liability.
Yeah.
Like, the longer you're working, the higher the liability too.
You're still supposed to take lunches and breaks, but in the restaurant, you're supposed to be able to sign out your break and stuff. So
yeah,
but no one ever knew the actual.
I don't really know
laws
how all that works. That's why I quit the restaurant business, man. It was not for me.
Working at Carl's Jr. is not completely the same as a restaurant.
Well,
you may get the same type of people and the same type of experiences, but the type of work's different.
I didn't like Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would have liked any other restaurant.
Sometimes, dude, it was so much fun because someone would just make us a stupid comment. Like we had a thing where it was like, damn hot chicken. And someone was like, how hot is the chicken? I was like, can you not read? It says damn hot. And they looked at me like, this motherfucker serious? You just say that to me? I was like, yeah, it says right there, damn hot. And the guy started laughing. I was like, I love that, dude. Sometimes you just get people who are just being jackasses and you do it right back, and it's so much fun.
But I think you can do that anywhere.
I don't know, man.
I've done that in...
You gotta gauge it sometimes, because
I told that's the thing.
This kid came up, and I was like, don't take that, you're gonna get cursed. And he's like, ah! And then I was like, nah, just kidding, and I gave it to him. I don't remember what it was. I think it may have been like a candy or something. And
in the back of your truck?
And
of your white van?
No, this is at work, at the restaurant. And the kid laughed afterward, and he left perfectly fine. It was like a dad or a grandpa or something. We finished off the check, like, here's your card back, signing or whatever it was. And they left. No issue, no problem. They're gone. Didn't think anything of it. Like an hour later, manager calls me over and was like, someone on the phone saying that one of our servers told the kid that they were cursed, and he's been freaking out the entire day. And my manager was standing there when I did it. And she's like, I remember hearing you say something earlier. And I was like, yeah, we were all there. We were joking. The kid was perfectly fine when we walked out. And then my mom was just like, yeah, this is stupid. And just was like, yeah, you guys were perfectly fine when you left. And I'm sorry, but like, there's nothing we can do about it. And that was it.
Lawsuit.
Like, a lawsuit for what?
Defamation.
Like,
you're telling that kid that he's cursed.
This is when
dude, lawsuits, man. Lawsuits are waiting to happen every day. You just say the wrong thing, boom.
Oh,
you for whatever reason, dude.
There was a day I was so mad. This is like the beginning of like all my issues right now, and I was just pissed. Like I was ready to fight someone. I wasn't going to, but I was just mad. And this guy called and was cursing out one of the hosts, and I got on the phone. And he's like, I was doing nothing but being nice to the server, and yada yada yada, telling me the story. And I was like, well, she told me you called her a bitch. He's like, no, I didn't call anyone that. And then he goes on and he's like, you're being an ass. I was like, so you just called me an ass, sir? Like, you're telling me you didn't call this girl a bitch? And he's like, do you want to fight? I don't live far from there. I'm going to come down here. Give me your office phone number. I was like, you're talking to me, sir. You don't talk to my employees this way. And he's like, all right, I'm going to be down there in 10 minutes. So he hangs up the phone, and I was like, yes. Oh, I'm so ready for this. Like, let's go.
Why?
And then
so you can get sued?
No, he attacks me. It's defense. But I would go back to the back because we have a lot of police officers that were there. And I told them what was going on. I was like, the guy's going to walk in. He said he wants to fight. The police officer was like, "It's fine. When he walks in, just deck him in the face. We'll back you up." And I was so ready for this guy to walk in, and he never came.
He's probably like 90 years old, dude.
He never came. Nah, I knew exactly who he was. He just wanted free stuff. There were people like that in Long Beach all the time.
There's people like, I mean, that's people, man.
It's bad, dude. Like, I don't know how Starbucks is gonna stay in business for so long. Like,
What?
they must have no cost.
What?
Because I used to go to Starbucks to do my studying.
You don't do that anymore?
Man, no. Man, how much what you would consider is waste. Like, they would start a drink and they accidentally put one pump of the wrong thing and just dump it and move on to the next thing. Like, sure, you got to do that. But, like, there was enough of that with enough of, oh, you only put 3 pumps? I wanted 4. Can you remake the drink? And they remake the drink, no questions asked. Someone comes in and says, oh, you guys forgot to give me this drink. No question asked here. Like, someone comes in and complained about a drink they had a couple weeks ago that didn't taste so well. Oh, let me remake that for you. Here you go. Like,
that's her policy.
I know, but like, how?
Guaranteed.
It's just like you gotta run out of money.
No,
Like
because those customers, they buy enough coffee to where Starbucks can offer that policy. That policy wouldn't be in place if Starbucks couldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah.
And also, when you're saying that the people did the wrong drink, that's just from experience. It takes time. It's like it takes time to be a bartender.
But see, at the same time though, with Starbucks though, I haven't worked there, but like when you look at the orders, the stuff is not just like, it's not like a sandwich order where it's like, I want my sandwich with no mayo, no lettuce on it. This is like, people are adding things into drinks that don't go into this drink. And like, consistent things are changing where like, you're going to get a upside down chocolate venti caramel with a side hit of a donkey kick, and like all these things are like 5 different drinks ingredients, and you've never seen this thing before. Like, that just causes issue after issue after issue. Like,
yeah, but I don't think it happens enough to cause a big issue.
That's what I'm saying, that their cost for all this stuff's got to be so dang low.
Well,
like,
I think
one drink needs to pay
own...
for at least like 10.
I don't know what their profit margin is, man.
Like, that's what we used to do with wine. One glass of wine that we sold was the price that we paid for a whole bottle.
Yeah.
Because what happens is if you open one up and you pour it and no one buys the other 3 pours, you have to pay for that bottle.
Yeah. Also, you have to pay for your liquor license.
So, but the point was that you didn't waste your money. You always made back the money.
Yeah, I mean,
you didn't profit until you sold the other 3.
What am I trying to say here? Not the profit margin, but the markup was so big, it was enough to cover the bottle. Yeah, because after a couple of days, the bottle is no good. You can't pour an old bottle like that's been opened.
Like, that's what's so weird to me sometimes, where it's like, I'll go to a restaurant and I'll order a margarita. And then I'll go to the grocery store and see the same type of tequila they used in the margarita. Let's say the margarita was $8, which was maybe a shot and a half of tequila. And I see this bottle over here for $12, which is like, I don't know how many shots are in a normal bottle. Let's just say probably 20, maybe 15.
I have no idea.
And then you're just like, nah, it's not worth it. Because then you gotta go buy the sweet and sour and all this other stuff, and you're just also, it's not worth it.
It's just laziness, and again, you're going to the bar for an experience. These places are for the experience of going to experience great customer service, where you don't even have to open your own wine bottle. There's a guy who comes and opens it in front of you and pours you a glass and somebody else a glass, and you don't even have to think about it. It's
that's
like
one of the things
status.
That's one of the things that I don't feel like I was ever taught in the restaurant business. Like, we had fried chicken that we serve, and we serve it fresh, so nothing would be done with the chicken until you ordered it. So it took 25 minutes to cook, and I don't know why, but every time I needed to, now you have to tell the person that's going to take 25 minutes because that's a long time to wait for food. So I would always cut it short. I'd always be like, 20, it's going to be like 20 minutes. Because, like, for some reason, it makes it seem weird that, like you think that 25 minutes is too long of a wait. Like, it's a long wait for food. That you don't want them to be like, 25 minutes? But you would rather let them know than not have them know the exact, like,
Yeah,
time that
because
they're going to
maybe
do it.
they're expecting it within 5 minutes.
So then now you told them 20 minutes, you can be 25. So they ask at 20 minutes, oh, how long is it going to be? Oh, it's going to be another 5-6 minutes. And then you hurt yourself even more. And like, I never really completely understood that concept. Like, I never completely learned the portion sizes for certain plates. So I would just make it up when people said it. And I would get as close as I could. And I just was like, yeah, that's fine.
Again,
I'll just be nice.
Again, you were working in a family-owned business where they probably didn't have many procedures. People
They
weren't
did
doing
a long time
training.
ago. Mm-hmm. And then they got rid of it.
There you go. That's what happens. Inconsistencies. And then you have people or employees who don't know what the hell they're doing.
But I think a lot of it, because I was there for so long to be able to see it, was them getting greedier and greedier. And that's what I was saying about the whole money concept. If you're not appreciating your employees, then there's no incentive for the company to get better.
But sure. But that's this particular person who thinks like that.
It was the same way with the Great Indoors. That's what they shut down too. The managers there were utter garbage.
It wasn't Great Indoors. It was Sears.
The management there was utter garbage.
Yeah, dude. Because they couldn't afford. They couldn't afford better managers because they weren't paying that much.
Exactly, and that's my point. Like, yeah. But the people, the Great Indoors business, sure, they may have shut down that one, and they have other ones.
I think they have like 3.
So they didn't fail necessarily. Like, they're still making money. They're not making as much money as they were. But
to be honest,
could they have stayed around if they actually cared? Yes.
The thing that you don't understand is that at the end of the day, it's still just people. Mm-hmm. And like I made a point earlier that some people just don't have it in them. And it's hard to find people who do. Like, just because it's the Great Indoors or whatever prestigious company you're talking about, it doesn't mean that you're going to find the right people there, because the founder or the person behind the operation at the very top doesn't have time to be at this specific company or at this specific location. So you get inconsistencies, and that's just natural.
I don't know.
Like, okay, let me give you a perfect example. Look at In-N-Out. Mm-hmm. They don't franchise. It's all one owner. It's family business, but they got it down. And anywhere you go that has an In-N-Out, you can expect to have the same quality, the same consistency, and that's what makes them so good. Yeah, that's why there's no other people can.
They also pay their employees a better wage than any place around.
Yeah, because they're able to afford that.
Like, this is one of the things that I argued with the owner about with the restaurant. We always had an issue with cooks, and the issue was they're trying to pay as close to minimum wage as possible. Well, the cook's job is probably the hardest in the restaurant, and so we have 2 cooks in there where we should have 4, because they're not willing to pay any new cook coming in the same amount as these people who've been here for a while, because then these CN people are going to ask for more money, and then you don't get anyone new. Because so now these employees aren't getting paid more. They're having to work more. They're in crappier circumstances.
You guys weren't busy enough.
It really wasn't that. Like, I saw the financials. I knew how it worked. It was not that. It was straight out the greed of the owner.
But that's that owner. That doesn't mean that every other owner is.
No, it doesn't mean that. But based off of the way that businesses work, they usually just go for how much money the business can make, not looking at issues around it. So because you can make more money by cutting off a specific TV show. Like have you heard of Firefly?
Yeah.
They took that off. There may have been some other issues with it. But if they were to keep that show going, they probably would have made a ton of money off of it.
How do you know?
Just like Game of Thrones. Like if they cut off Game of Thrones after this first season, like you just lost a ton of money.
But they had a big enough following that people were watching it consistently. That's why they made 8 of them.
Mm-hmm. So it's like because they understood what the customer wanted.
Yeah.
Even and in the long term, it makes them want.
Yeah. There's
a lot of businesses don't work that way anymore.
No,
like
it's not that they don't work that way.
Okay, we're gonna get like Apple. I hate Apple for what they do.
Why?
It's like we come up with a new phone. Oh, look, this year we have the swipe feature, so you can only have it on the new one, even though all you have to do is download it. Like, how is that a feature of your new phone? Just put that up on the Play Store and download it. Android's had it since the first Android.
Yes.
Like my point is that the company is so ridiculous in what they give to you.
But people are buying it, so you can't blame them.
But that's the point though, is the user experience in general is not great. Yeah, Apple has lost sales.
Yes, because people are finally starting to realize that it's not.
Yeah, so in the long term, they're gonna screw themselves.
Are they?
I think so.
Dude, they have so much cash. There's no way they're. I think they're one of the big 5. You know the big 5 are?
No.
The big 5 companies that in any circumstance, unless the world ends, they're going to be just fine. That's how much cash they have.
I saw this and I completely forget what it is. There are a ton of companies that own companies. So like, and I don't remember names, but there are not that many of them. So like, sure, they may own 100 different companies, and then those companies own companies, but it's really just this one company that controls the whole thing technically.
Yeah.
And there's not that many of them. So it's like
that's the oil industry.
It's just ridiculous.
Is it?
Yeah. Like it's the whole concept about like how
but why is that ridiculous?
I forget what companies it was, but you would buy out your competitor not because they were doing something better, but by buying them out, you're now going to be able to just increase the quality of your thing, and now you don't have a competitor, so there's no reason for anyone to go anywhere else.
Is that a ridiculous thing?
I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Why?
Like, I feel like a lot of what can come out of things don't come out anymore. So like how you were talking about how Tesla could have been a thing 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It's because everything keeps getting stopped.
Yeah.
And that's how everyone's kind of living. Like we stop at our entertainment.
Yeah.
So when you create some company and someone's like, here, I'll give you more money than you're going to need. All right. Boom. Done at your entertainment.
That's one way to look at it. I don't think Elon Musk thinks that way. I think it's really up to individual people. It's all about individuals. It all comes down to the individual who's running the thing. Like, you can sit here and say it's ridiculous, but it's still Apple. It's still Tesla. It's still these big, or Facebook. Like, even though people hate on Facebook so much, it's, can you blame them? They're just a company. And it's made out of people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what their intentions are, and it's sketchy at times. They're very powerful, but I don't blame them. I think it's kind of ridiculous that they've gone unchecked for so long, but I don't blame them. Like, I'm not mad at them because it's up to me to be on Facebook or not.
Now that you said something about that, about it can be sketchy, it reminds me of one of the conspiracy theories. All right. This
All right,
one.
hang on.
This
hang on.
one.
We got a comment really quick from Refrigerador, which is
Refrigerator.
yeah.
I don't
It
speak
says
Spanish.
that he's saying that when are we gonna start fisticuffs or fisticuffs?
Fisticuffs.
Yeah, like throwing blows.
Throwing blows.
And then he
No.
says that he thinks my watch is pretty tight. So, gracias. Es guess. Me lo dieron para Navidad. So, refrigerador.
You can
Anyway.
see that?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
okay. So
now
what's
here.
what's the
Oh, the
conspiracy
conspiracy.
theory?
Okay. So you know those vacuum robots?
Yeah.
The conspiracy behind it, I don't know if it's been shown to be real, but is that the CIA uses those to map out your house. So the robot's like, okay, wall, wall, wall. So they have the floor plan of your home.
I think that's one
And
of
then
the.
know
That's one of
what
the.
is happening in your house. So there's couches, the doorway is clear all the way up to here. There's a TV on that side. This must be steps, so we got to be careful, like entering in this area. Like, goddamn.
No, that's too
Indirectly
far-fetched.
though, the knowledge is in it.
But
Indirectly.
but I don't believe that it's because of that, or that the CIA is for whatever reason in it. Because anybody can just go to the city and get the documents with the floor plans of the layout.
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
If you're in the government,
Yeah, but the point is knowing what's in it currently.
You don't need
Like
to.
you can know, sure, there's an open space here, but like if they decided that they wanted to bust in through the window, but you decided to put a bookcase right here, they can't do that anymore. That's what I'm talking about.
Let me refute your theory. You think they sent in a vacuum robot when they went in to kill Osama bin Laden?
I'm not saying that.
Come on, Greg.
I'm not saying that.
But shouldn't they have known to map up to see
They probably
what's in
sent
the
in
room?
something else that we're gonna see in 20 years from now and just think nothing
So
of
why
it.
would
Just
you,
like drones. You think drones haven't been
what I'm saying?
aren't more advanced
That's
now
what
to
I'm
where you
saying.
can't even see them?
That's what I'm saying. Why would they put it in a vacuum?
It's just one way of doing it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it. I think that's too far fetched for me.
But it's just like a computer, like the webcam, just like your phone.
What
like
about it?
your camera is always active. If it was never active, then it wouldn't work when you turn it on to take a picture. You would have to physically go in. No. I mean, you can shut it off, but you would then have to go into the inner settings to then turn it back on to then take a picture.
Do you not?
So like going like this, but without me actually seeing it, it's technically in the background there. So like in my phone, it's seeing your face right now. It's just not displaying it here.
And
so like you can have access to information without it being decoded to a normal.
Wouldn't you say that that's what satellites do?
Aren't satellites just signals?
No, don't we have cameras up there?
I don't know, super cameras.
Yeah, where do you think super zoom came in?
Like some of that stuff don't make any sense to me, dude. It's like we discovered a new black hole 6 billion light years away. Like if it takes so long for light to get there, why can we see that far?
Because the light of that super black hole, or the light around it, has already reached us. So there are black holes out there now where no,
because it would take years to get here.
What I'm saying,
so therefore it could have exploded already, but we don't see it yet.
What I'm saying, exactly, but not all. That's not all cases.
Yeah,
that could be. You can't say all of them. They're
distance-wise, you don't know what
out
happens.
There, there's some black holes that are already formed, but the light around, like the stars around them, have not been affected yet, or the light from the stars has not reached us yet, so we can't tell yet. But they're already there. That's how far away these things are.
Just thinking about how we were starting this off with the Earth change. What if the same concept happens with the planet change? Like, say some star blew up and it threw us off into another star and we started rotating in that galaxy. You think that could be the same case as the world of things shifting?
I think that is exactly what happened. We have stars. We're made from the stars. That's why we're here. We have star matter. There's star matter everywhere from the Big Bang.
Yeah, because if things make sense here, they gotta make sense other places.
You know the crazy theory that I just recently heard is that when the Big Bang started, it was like a domino effect that just keeps going, like an never-ending expansion. Like that's how much pressure or whatever exploded at the very beginning of time.
Working the same way, kind of like light, how
it just travels somewhere.
Life hasn't hit this place yet.
Yeah.
Maybe. But like how we've talked about in other ones where...
Or do you think this is just a fucking Truman Show where it's all made up?
But there has to be something...
We're just
lack of a better word, there has to be some kind of real. Like, even if this is not what reality is, Neo.
Do you know what reality is?
But the point is there has to be some type of something at some point. Like, there's no way to explain it. There has to be for the only way we understand it, something real. So there has to be something.
Who was it? So what if
something that actually?
What if we never developed sight,
mm-hmm.
and we were just walking around for whatever reason? We just never needed eyes to get around, kind of like earthworms. Are earthworms perceiving reality in a different way because they don't have eyes?
You see, that's the same concept with the whole: if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? If no one's around.
No.
It doesn't make a sound?
It makes a sound.
No one's there to hear it, so it doesn't make a sound.
Yeah, just no one hears it.
But hearing means there's sound. But
a bird heard it.
But there was nothing
tree, an animal around there heard it.
But does sound... I mean, see, it's a weird question because...
No.
If...
Yeah. Does a bear shit in the woods? Yes. Whether we're there to see it or not.
Uh-huh.
Right?
But
an earthworm does not have eyesight.
But if there was nothing...
we know that the earthworm does not have eyesight.
What you're saying is that no one has eyesight. Sight is not a thing, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying if sight was not a thing and we did not have eyesight, yet we still lived in the same earth, in the same... Everything applies the same except the eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we would have been giant morads.
Okay.
Right? The physical earth still exists, except buildings wouldn't be a thing. Maybe they'd be underground passages.
So that's where the sense of like
this still
the
exist?
Religious
but does this still
part
exist?
comes from.
Yeah. That's what
so
I'm
it's
saying.
like at the same time, if you believe in like heaven and hell, even though you don't know what it is, it's some spiritual realm that the human body is not a part of. Is it still going on right now?
We don't know that.
If it exists, it's going on.
Well,
it's just the same concept. Like if a tree falls in the wood, does it make a sound because no one can hear it? The sound trees don't hear, so technically there's no sound.
What about the animals?
Just the same way if we didn't have eyesight, those things are still there, but eyesight doesn't exist.
Yeah,
so we don't have the eyesight or whatever it's called to be in the heavenly realm.
Have you tried psychedelics? Have you?
No, but
there you go. So would you say that we don't have that eyesight, or maybe we just choose not to do it.
You can't say that that's what that is.
Have you heard of people's experiences on psychedelics?
Sure, but
there you go. Are they wrong, or do you know for sure that they're wrong?
Have you had experiences in your dreams? How do you not know that that's the heavenly realm?
What do you mean?
That's my point. Like, there's
no bad dream is a heavenly realm.
No, you have dreams about heaven, hell.
What about wet dreams?
You forgot your pants.
What about wet dreams?
That's something completely different.
Is it, or is it still a dream?
It's not a dream.
It's not a dream?
No, because you can do it without having a dream, like without having a recollection of a dream. I've never actually had one.
So how are you even saying that?
Huh?
How are you even
because
saying
it's
that? If you never had one?
Because a wet dream doesn't imply the dream being something. It's the act of what happens during sleep.
Why did you feel like that?
What?
Whatever.
It can be relaxation. It can be anything.
Okay, what type of wet dream are you talking about now? You're talking
about when you wake up? No, that's peeing yourself in bed.
So relaxation is coming from, or this ecstasy is coming from relaxation?
Yes.
No. I disagree with you.
Like when you smile, do you use less muscles? No, you use more muscles to frown than to smile, right? But when you go like this, it feels like you're flexing.
I don't know where you're going with this and how this relates.
I'm just saying that it's relaxing and that's why you go.
No, I think that's way off point. I think you missed the mark on that one, dude.
I don't know, man. I don't
anyway, we're gonna review the microphone after this. Today was one of those days where we just sit down and talk shit. Hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast. If not, go check the previous ones where I talked to a friend of mine about money, and then another friend about business. And then if you're into cooking, we have another episode where I talked to a friend about his experience being a chef. And then hopefully next week we have another guest coming in. I don't know. I think we're just going to end it today like this. Yep. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
Maybe we'll throw hands next time too. Peace.
Later, guys.